My passion for stories about women of faith actually was ignited when I was in seminary. I started doing research on women in church history. And as I read these stories of their lives, I realized what it was like to be a Christ follower in another century and in another culture. And I love these women. I just fell in love with them. And I think real-life stories from women in the past, as well as present stories, help shatter false expectations. It restores vision, and it builds faith. And Hebrews 12:1 speaks to believers, and it's saying we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. And those are witnesses from the Scripture. You may remember Hebrews 11 is the Hall of Fame, faith. All these people that went before and lived out their faith. And so I think there's still a great cloud of witnesses and a place to continue to be surrounded and ways to hear from one another. And what I've heard women say many times is, I just hope that my story can help someone else, what I've learned or what I've walked through. And there's that longing inside of us to impart, and I believe that's God-given. It's just that longing to impart and to encourage. And so what I find is that we need to know that we're not alone and to offer hope. I also hear from women as they sit down and write their stories, even though it can be difficult and there can be a battle to get to that place, and I understand that, but when they do get to that place to find the time, God really honors those moments of reflection, because we're to meditate on his wonderful works that he's done. And in our lives, we get to do that, but sometimes we're so busy that we, to sit down and write something where he's come through for you, you've seen his faithfulness, it's creating space to meditate or reflect on how he's come through. And I find women thanking me, like, thank you for asking me. I got so much out. I was in tears by the end of my writing, and that I just rejoice with that. I'm like, I'm so glad that God, met you during the writing of your story. It also makes us love the Lord more when we see some of the redemption. We see how he is enough. We see that even though there's pain and sorrow and struggle and confusion at times, that he is enough. And he does come through for us, even if our stories take turns that we would never expect or desire. God will come through in every chapter. And so there's a sense that he can take all the mess and the ugliness in our lives and bring it into something beautiful.